Are other people's opinions and intrusive questions stealing your peace right now? If you're constantly feeling pressured to explain yourself, justify your choices, or defend how you're living your retirement years, you're not alone, and it's affecting your health more than you realize. In the next 16 minutes, you'll discover exactly which 5 questions you must stop answering immediately to protect your mental health, lower your stress levels, and finally enjoy the peace you've earned after decades of hard work. And here's something critical. Question number 3 is directly linked to anxiety-related health problems that affect 1 in 10 seniors. Yet, almost everyone feels obligated to answer it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have simple, practical strategies you can use today to take back control of your peace and protect your well-being. Betty, a 67-year-old retired nurse from Michigan, spent years answering every intrusive question from family members and neighbors about her life choices. She felt constant pressure to justify why she wasn't traveling more, why she preferred her own company, and why she made certain financial decisions. That's when her doctor warned her that chronic stress from these interactions was elevating her blood pressure to dangerous levels. And that's when everything changed. Question 1. Why don't you do more? The first question that's draining your energy and stealing your peace is this: why don't you do more? Maybe it comes from your adult children who wonder why you're not babysitting the grandkids every weekend. Perhaps it's neighbors who question why you don't join every social event or church activity. Or maybe it's friends who can't understand why you prefer quiet evenings at home instead of constant activity. Whatever form it takes, this question carries a hidden accusation that what you're doing isn't enough, and that belief is damaging your health right now. Research from Johns Hopkins University reveals something startling. Constant pressure to over-justify your lifestyle choices keeps your body in a state of chronic stress, which elevates cortisol levels significantly. This prolonged elevation of stress hormones increases your risk of heart disease by 27% in adults over 60. Think about that for a moment. Every time you feel compelled to defend your daily choices, your body is responding as if you're under threat. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, and over time, this repeated stress response wears down your cardiovascular system. Harold, a 71-year-old retired mechanic from Texas, spent 3 years explaining to his sister why he didn't want to travel cross-country or attend every family reunion. He felt guilty every time he declined an invitation, and that guilt kept him up at night, affecting his sleep quality and overall health. The immediate consequence of continuously defending your decisions is that you remain trapped in a cycle of stress that damages not just your heart, but your entire immune system. When your cortisol levels stay elevated, your body's ability to fight off illness decreases dramatically. You become more susceptible to infections, inflammation increases throughout your body, and your risk of developing chronic conditions multiplies. Beyond the physical damage, there's an emotional cost too. Constantly justifying yourself erodes your sense of autonomy and self-worth. You begin to believe that your choices are only valid if others approve of them, which is fundamentally untrue and psychologically harmful. Here's your simple solution, and you can implement it today. When someone asks why you don't do more, smile warmly and say these exact words: "I'm doing exactly what's right for me right now." Then immediately change the subject to something else. Don't elaborate, don't provide a list of reasons, and don't apologize. Your retirement years are yours to design, and you owe no one an explanation for how you choose to spend your time and energy. If they press further, simply repeat the same phrase once more with kind firmness, then redirect the conversation. Stop justifying your pace of life today. Your cardiovascular health and mental peace depend on it. Question 2. Why are you still single, or why don't you remarry? The second question that invades your most personal territory and steals your peace is about your relationship status. Maybe you're widowed and perfectly content living independently. Perhaps you're divorced and enjoying your freedom after years of a difficult marriage. Or maybe you've been single by choice your entire life and have built a fulfilling existence. Regardless of your situation, intrusive questions about why you're not partnered up or when you plan to start dating again are nobody's business. Yet people feel entitled to ask them constantly, creating unnecessary stress and pressure. The Mayo Clinic has confirmed through multiple studies that social pressure regarding romantic relationships causes measurable anxiety in seniors, leading directly to sleep disruption and increased blood pressure. When you're repeatedly questioned about your single status, your brain interprets this as social rejection or inadequacy, triggering the same stress response as actual threats to your safety. This isn't just feeling uncomfortable. This is your body releasing stress hormones that interfere with your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. Poor sleep then creates a cascade of health problems, including impaired memory, weakened immunity, and increased risk of falls. Donna, a 66-year-old widow from Florida who lost her husband 5 years ago, finally stopped letting her sister's constant questions about dating make her feel incomplete or defensive. She realized that her happiness wasn't dependent on finding another partner, and once she stopped answering those questions, her sleep improved dramatically within weeks. The immediate consequence of answering intrusive relationship questions is that you reinforce the false narrative that you need someone else to be complete, or that your life lacks value without a romantic partner. This damages your self-worth at a fundamental level. Every time you justify your single status, you're implicitly agreeing that being alone requires an explanation or defense. This erodes your confidence and can lead to feelings of loneliness even when you're perfectly content with your life. Furthermore, these conversations often come with unsolicited advice about dating apps, blind dates, or lowering your standards, all of which add layers of pressure you simply don't need. Your simple solution starts right now. When someone asks about your relationship status, respond with absolute confidence. I'm very content with my life as it is. Period. Full stop. No explanations about how you spend your time, no justifications about why you haven't met anyone, and certainly no apologies for your happiness. If they continue probing, you can add, if that changes, you'll be among the first to know. Then change the subject to something they're interested in. Frank, a 73-year-old retired accountant from Oregon, uses this exact approach with his well-meaning but pushy brother-in-law, and it works perfectly every single time. Your relationship status is absolutely nobody's business but yours. Take back that power and protect your peace right now. Question 3. How much money do you have, or what's your financial situation? Here's the question that causes the most stress and poses the greatest danger to seniors. Anything related to your money, savings, income, or financial situation. Whether it's adult children asking how much you have saved, relatives questioning your spending choices, or neighbors trying to gauge your net worth, these questions cross a serious boundary, yet people ask them all the time, often disguised as concern or casual conversation. Some frame it as just making sure you're okay financially, while others are more direct. Regardless of how it's presented, answering these questions puts you at genuine risk. Harvard Medical School research reveals that financial stress and violations of financial privacy are the #1 cause of anxiety-related health issues in seniors, directly linked to increased stroke risk. When you discuss your financial situation with people who aren't your trusted financial advisor or attorney, you create opportunities for stress, manipulation, and exploitation. Your blood pressure spikes during these conversations as you navigate the delicate balance of not wanting to seem rude while also wanting to protect your privacy. This repeated elevation in blood pressure, especially when it happens frequently, significantly increases your risk of stroke and heart attack. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that financial exploitation affects 1 in 10 seniors, And it almost always begins with someone gaining knowledge about a senior's financial situation through seemingly innocent conversations. The immediate consequences of disclosing your financial information extend far beyond temporary stress. Once people know what you have, they may begin making assumptions about what you should do with your money. Adult children might pressure you to help fund their home purchases or their children's college education. Extended family members might suddenly have emergencies that require your financial assistance. Friends might judge your spending choices or question why you're not more generous. Even worse, you become vulnerable to scams and exploitation. Rita, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Illinois, made the mistake of mentioning to her nephew that she had a comfortable retirement fund. Within months, he was pressuring her to invest in his business venture, and when she refused, their relationship became strained and uncomfortable. The stress from that situation affected her health for over a year. Your solution is simple, but requires firm consistency. When anyone asks about your money, savings, or financial situation, respond with these exact words: "My finances are private." Say it kindly, but with absolute firmness. If they push back with, "I'm just concerned," or "I'm family," you repeat once more, "I appreciate your concern, but my finances are private." Then immediately change the topic. You don't owe anyone access to information about your bank accounts, investments, property values, or monthly income. George, a 70-year-old widower from Arizona, uses this approach with everyone from his adult daughter to his golf buddies, and it has protected both his peace of mind and his financial security. Protect your financial privacy starting today. Your safety, your stress levels, and your independence depend on it. Question 4. Why don't you let us make decisions for you? Or don't you think we know better? The fourth question that undermines your peace is actually a category of questions and statements designed to convince you that you're no longer capable of making sound decisions for yourself. This might sound like, "Don't you think you should let us handle that for you?" Or, "Wouldn't it be easier if we just took care of this?" Or the more direct, "Are you sure you can still manage that on your own?" These questions come from adult children, younger relatives, or even well-meaning friends who genuinely believe they're helping you. But what they're actually doing is slowly stripping away your autonomy and independence, which has devastating effects on your mental and physical health. Studies from the National Institute on Aging demonstrate that seniors who maintain autonomy in decision-making have 40% better cognitive function and significantly lower rates of depression compared to those who allow others to take over their decision-making processes. When you give up control over your choices, even in small areas, your brain literally begins to atrophy in the regions responsible for planning, problem-solving, and executive function. It's a use it or lose it situation with your cognitive abilities. Furthermore, the sense of helplessness that develops when others make decisions for you triggers the same neurological patterns as clinical depression. Susan, a 68-year-old retired social worker from North Carolina, noticed her adult son questioning every choice she made, from her grocery shopping to her doctor visits to her volunteer activities. She felt increasingly incompetent and anxious until she firmly established boundaries and reclaimed her right to make her own decisions. The immediate consequence of allowing others to take over your decision-making is a rapid acceleration of cognitive decline and the development of what psychologists call learned helplessness. When your brain no longer needs to evaluate options, weigh consequences, and make choices, those neural pathways weaken and eventually disappear. This isn't just about mental sharpness. This affects your ability to live independently. Additionally, when you defer to others' judgments repeatedly, you begin to doubt your own capabilities, which creates anxiety and erodes your confidence. You might start second-guessing decisions you would have made easily just months before. This loss of confidence then makes you more dependent on others, creating a vicious cycle that's difficult to break. Here's your straightforward solution that you can implement immediately. The next time someone suggests they should make a decision for you or questions your capability, state clearly and firmly, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I'll ask if I need help." If they persist, add this: "My ability to make my own choices is important to my health and independence. Please respect that." Kenneth, a 72-year-old retired engineer from Colorado, had to say this to his daughter 3 times before she finally understood that her help was actually harmful. Now their relationship is stronger because it's built on mutual respect, rather than her treating him like a child. Defend your independence and decision-making authority today, or risk losing both tomorrow. Question 5. Why don't you act your age, or aren't you too old for that? The final question that steals your peace and damages your health involves judgments about what's supposedly age-appropriate behavior. Maybe you've taken up a new hobby like painting, dancing, or learning a musical instrument, and someone says, "Aren't you too old to start that now?" Perhaps you've changed your style of dress or tried a new hairstyle, and someone comments, "That's a bit young for you, don't you think?" Or maybe you're staying physically active with hiking, swimming, or fitness classes, and someone questions whether that's safe at your age. These comments and questions are rooted in harmful age stereotypes that literally shorten your lifespan and increase your risk of serious health problems. Research from the American Psychological Association provides sobering evidence. Age stereotype stress shortens lifespan by an average of 7.5 years and increases the risk of cardiovascular events by 38%. When you internalize negative beliefs about aging, when you start believing that certain activities, interests, or behaviors are inappropriate for your age, your body responds with measurable physiological changes. Your blood pressure increases, inflammation markers rise, and your immune system weakens. Beyond the physical impact, accepting age stereotypes leads to reduced physical activity, social isolation, and faster cognitive decline. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where believing you're too old to do something actually makes you older faster. Vincent, a 74-year-old retired postal worker from Washington, hesitated to join a local theater group because his brother kept making jokes about him being too old to remember lines. But once he ignored those comments and pursued his interest anyway, he found that his memory actually improved from the mental stimulation. The immediate consequence of internalizing age stereotype questions is that you begin limiting yourself based on arbitrary social expectations rather than your actual capabilities and interests. You might stop trying new things, give up hobbies you enjoy, or withdraw from social activities because you worry about being judged. This self-imposed limitation accelerates physical decline because your body needs challenge and novelty to stay strong. When you stop moving, learning, and engaging, your muscles atrophy, your balance deteriorates, and your cognitive function declines rapidly. Additionally, the stress of constantly worrying about whether you're acting your age keeps your cortisol levels elevated, which damages every system in your body over time. Your solution is empowering and immediate. When someone questions whether you're too old for an activity or suggests you should act your age, respond with confidence and clarity. "I'm living my life fully, and that has no age limit." Then continue doing exactly what brings you joy, purpose, and fulfillment. Joyce, a 68-year-old retired librarian from Maine, took up surfing lessons at the local beach and uses this exact response when people express surprise or concern. She's now healthier and happier than she's been in decades. If someone persists with their age-based criticism, you can add, "My doctor supports me staying active and engaged, and that's all the approval I need." Remember that staying curious, active, and engaged isn't just enjoyable, it's essential for longevity and health. Start ignoring age judgments right now because your vitality, mental sharpness, and longevity depend on it. You've just learned the 5 questions that steal your peace and damage your health. defending your activity level, justifying your relationship status, disclosing your finances, surrendering your independence, and accepting age stereotypes. Each time you refuse to answer these intrusive questions, you're actively choosing better health, lower stress, and a longer life. The medical research is absolutely clear on this. Setting firm boundaries reduces your cortisol levels, lowers your blood pressure, protects your cognitive function, and can add years to your active, independent life. This is your time to finally live unbothered and enjoy the peace you've earned after decades of hard work and responsibility. If you've ever felt pressured by any of these 5 questions, drop a comment below telling me which one you're going to stop answering starting today. I genuinely want to hear which boundary you're setting first. Hit that like button right now if this video gave you permission to protect your peace without guilt. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss practical advice designed specifically to help you live your best life after 60. Here's the most important action. Share this video immediately with another senior who needs to hear this message. You could be giving someone the gift of peace and better health just by clicking that share button. Your well-being matters deeply, and you have every right to guard it fiercely. Now go forward and live unbothered.